All right, today is May 31st, 2025. It's 6:39 p.m. It's a Saturday. So I currently have a 5K prop firm challenge that I bought last week. It's still active, but if let me just show you how many I lost here. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think these four were due to like just losing it. And then if I look here, there's like a bunch. I mean, I did pass one or two, but look at that. I'm scrolling through. These must be, I mean, I I essentially lost about $30,000 and maybe a $20,000 to $25,000 in prop firm challenges, not just here, but so I decided to step down. I was doing like the 10K challenges. So if I look here, I was doing this 10K challenge with funding traders. They have this crazy 15-second rule, which means that I have to hold it for 15 seconds. And if a trade goes wrong, then I need to exit the trade, but I can't, anyway. So I have to come up with some sort of something to figure that out. So I currently have a two-step funding pips, and there's Match Trader based on US Match Trader. I have a 5K. That's what I have. With a 10% discount, I can get it for like 32 bucks or something like that. So I currently have this, and I want to review what I've done so far. So far, I could have lost. I'm currently at 4.43% on positive side. See that right there. So I had it for a minimum of 3 days. So I met that criteria. The daily loss limit is 260. Max loss is 700. I need to get 178 more, and I'll pass this phase one. So if I look at the past week, let's look at the past month. So if I look at this curvature here, I started out with 5K, dropped it down to 4,800, essentially dropped about a 2.4%. Okay, 120 bucks, which is essentially about 2.4%, 2.4%. And then I started to make some gains. And so if I just look at the statistics here, if I just look at the statistics, currently my average win is about 7.86 and average loss is 9.03. Now win to loss ratio, win ratio is 60%. That's what's making it positive here. Profit factor is 1.23%, and it just works out. I mean, it just works out, right? So that small little win to loss ratio, even though the difference is average win and average loss, anyway, that's how it works. So if I look here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. I traded about 7 days. And within these 7 days, I have 3 days where I could have just blown this challenge. I mean, it could have gone. I mean, I like this is one day, that's another day, and I think this may have been the other day, right here. It's hidden because I was down, and then I sized big, and then brought it back up. So that's how it works. So I'm still alive here. That's how it works. Okay, so if I look at this, number of days is 7 days. Total trades taken 256. Average trades per day is about 23 trades. Total lots used is. I heard that people who are good take less trades. People who are bad takes these many trades. So the biggest win is about $100 right there. That's 2%. 2%. One trade, 2%. Biggest loss is about 1.5%. Average positive days is 14. Average negative days is $65. I mean, it's due to this big, humongous loss. That is something that I need to work on. So highest recorded equity, which was Friday of last week, which is, yeah. All right, so that's the situation here. So my long and short analysis, I normally just go long right there. I just buy. And selling, I sometimes do that when I see it, but I generally tend to favor like going long. In the instrument profit analysis, I usually trade the UJ mostly, and then I trade the UC and then the gold, and then now I've incorporated the Nasdaq as well. So those are the side. So I trade these a little bit. I'm trying to incorporate a new strategy, another strategy into my trading portfolio. Um, so that's the volume. So if I look here, I I haven't correlated this time to. I guess this must be the opening sessions. This must be the opening session. That's the closing session, which is essentially the New York session here. This is the session market, Asian market open, and then right at when the Asians so this is where the volume, so the results trading time. So this is the Asian time. This is a European time. I trade a little bit on the New York Times here. So vast majority of my volume is essentially in the Asian time, right? That's still Asian time, I think. Asian market, or maybe it's European market, maybe. Because right around when it turns 12 o'clock, right? So 12 o'clock is essentially, yeah, somewhere around here. Okay, somewhere in here. I think it's right around here. So that's the distribution. So if I look at this calendar, the May period, the first day I made about 31 bucks because I was a bit hesitant because I lost like four challenges right before this. And then the following day I lost like 5%, like almost 5%, almost blew my challenge. And then I did that, and then the mindset that I have is essentially to whenever I'm doing good, I need to now what I'm attempting to do is make 2% per day. Okay, that's the goal. The goal that I have is 2% per day. I was successful making 1% per day in the past, or actually it was 0.5%. Okay, I was funded with 0.5%, but it took a long time to get there. So now I'm stepping it up, which now it has been almost 3 or 4 months now before I'm getting positive traction on this new thing that I'm attempting to do. So I'm attempting to do like 2% per day. I am attempting to achieve 2% gain per day. So this one is about 3% right there. This is almost 2%, 2%, 2% right there. This one is 0%. And so the idea for me to do is if I can make 2% per day, right? The idea is to make 2% per day. And the profit target is from 0 is 8%, right? So that means that I could theoretically, if everything aligns, I can take care of it in 1 week. Okay, I can pass a phase one somewhere around 8 to 10% gain profit target in 1 week. That's the idea. That's the goal that I have. So if I can make, I'm talking about if I can make, so this is just a 5K challenge, right? So this is a 5K. Now if I get to the point where I'm like now, I mean, as soon as I get good, the idea is to step it up to here. I'm gonna skip the 25K, go immediately to 10K. After three payouts here, I'll get 3 payouts here, and I'm gonna jump to 50K, 3 payouts here, and then after I get the 3 payouts here, I'm gonna go jump to here. That's the idea. Okay, so 3 payouts, and then after I become profitable here, I'm gonna see how I can increase it, how I can elevate my trading. Okay, so the idea is to get massively funded. All right, and so if I can get I mean, if I can get 10% per week on a $1 million account, okay, if I can get 10% in a $1 million account, right, So, I mean, if I were to just briefly do a math on it, right? 10% on a 1 million, I'm just gonna calculate it out, all right? Okay, so if I have $1 million, okay, times 1.1, which is going to be equal to 10%, all right? So that's $100,000 in 1 week, okay? Just 1 week. And if I can repeat that every week, so that's going to be about $400,000 a month. So that's roughly about a little over $500,000 a year. Okay, that's the idea, right? That is the idea. If I can make 10% per, is that right? 10% per week. I mean, that's outstanding. Anyway, that's the goal. So anything can happen. My strategy uh, right now. I've been reviewing YouTube, like these um, podcasts with other professional traders, and they know what they're doing, but I don't see. I don't know. So I don't know what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. So what I gather is that they use like Fibonacci's, they use like ICTs or whatever it is. They use a bunch of stuff. Okay, they're highly educated, and they actually teach classes. These people who are being interviewed teach classes, and so they're good. They're really really good. They know what they're doing. But um, for me, what I'm attempting to do is a couple of things. What I'm attempting to do is using my strategy, which is quite different than what they're doing. And so I'm attempting to, and so for the past 4 to 5 years, I did things backwards. Okay, so I did things backwards. I focused on psychology first before I created a solid setup. So essentially, what I'm doing is yeah, I still don't have a solid strategy that I can use, a setup that I can use, right? So, um, but my psychology, I mean, I explored psychology quite a bit. I mean, extensively for the past 5 years, 4 to 5 years. I've, I've explored my psychology to, I mean, um, there's nothing better to bring out the psychology when there's no setup. I'm allowing the market to just essentially just take my money every time, right? That's the best way to like bring forth the psychology in trading. Anyway, so what I concluded so far is that sure, I have improved in my psychology, and the idea right now is using something that I still don't know how to trade. Okay, I still don't know how to trade. Okay, but the idea is simple. Okay, so I still don't know how to trade. Okay, but the goal is to make 2% per day. Okay, and then I have sort of figured out what psychology is, but psychology is there. It's always there. I have to be cautious of what I eat, how much sleep I take, the interactions that I have with my people around me, and so these are the things that I need to be mindful of going forward. And then as I'm achieving 2%, even though I still don't know how to trade. I still don't know how to trade. Okay. Somebody asked me, hey, somebody told me, hey, you don't have an edge. Yeah. Um, it's true. It's true. But I heard from a podcast this weekend, this guy who knows how to trade, he says, you're the edge. Okay. You are the edge. Okay. You're the edge. Apparently, so I'm the edge. All right. So I'll figure out what that means. But that's the current situation. So for this coming week, what I need, I anticipate that if I go on this path here and if I'm successful here, within the next 2 to 3 days, I should be able to pass this. Because if I can make it a neutral day for one, and then have these 2 days with 2% per day, I can achieve this. Okay. I can achieve this week, this coming week. Alrighty.